Good evening. This is All India Radio Kohima. I'm Jonas Yantan with Evening News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attends 22nd SCO Summit at Samarkand, says SCO needs to focus on bringing diversified, resilient supply chains. 8 wild cheetahs from Namibia to revitalise India's wildlife and its habitat, to be released tomorrow. Supreme Court refuses to hear PIL seeking uniform dress code in schools across the country. And Rising People's Party says there should not be interview system in NSSB selection process. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with leaders of SCO nations, including Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese President Xi Jinping, Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, and Uzbekistan President Shavkat Mirziyoyev today participated in the 22nd SCO Summit at Samarkand in Uzbekistan. Speaking at the SCO expanded format meet, Modi said the pandemic and the crisis in Ukraine caused many obstacles in global supply chains, due to which the whole world is facing an unprecedented energy and food crisis. He said SCO must make efforts to develop reliable, resilient and diversified supply chains in our region. He stressed that this will require better connectivity and need for giving each other full right to transit. Modi emphasized that the world faces the major challenge of ensuring food security of all citizens. He said promoting the cultivation and consumption of millets is one possible solution. He said millets are a superfood that has been grown for thousands of years, not just in SCO countries, but in many parts of the world. Prime Minister also said that India is today one of the most affordable destinations for medical and wellness tourism in the world. Modi said cooperation must be increased on traditional medicines amongst SCO countries. He said that India will take the initiative for a new SCO working group on traditional medicine. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will release cheetahs in Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh tomorrow under Project Cheetah, which is the world's first intercontinental large wild carnivore translocation project. This day is also the birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The introduction of wild cheetahs is part of Modi's effort to revitalize and diversify India's wildlife and its habitat. Cheetah was declared extinct from India in 1952. Cheetahs that will be introduced are from Namibia and have been brought under an MOU signed earlier this year. They will help in the restoration of open forest and grassland ecosystems in India. This will help conserve biodiversity and enhance the ecosystem services like water security, carbon sequestration, and soil moisture conservation. The Supreme Court today refused to hear a PIL seeking a uniform dress code in schools across the country. The petitioners had sought uniformity in the dress code for teachers, students, and staff in education institutions across the country. A bench of Justices Hemant Gupta, Sudhanshu Tulia refused to hear the case. The Rising People's Party RPP today said there should not be interview system in NSSB selection process, since written examination alone will suffice to choose candidates. It cautioned that the whole idea of transparency and fairness will stand nullified. The party, in a statement addressed to the Chief Minister, questioned as to why it was so difficult for the government to put in place a system which will benefit hard-working and sincere students, a system which will surely pave way for the establishment of a merit-based society. The RPP in this regard appealed the government to consider using of optical mark recognition (OMR) sheets with carbon copy so as to aid the candidates for self-evaluation of their marks and publish correct answer keys within a week in the local dailies after the examinations are conducted. BJP National President J.B. Nadda held a meeting with Nagaland BJP Core Committee in Dimapur today. State BJP President and Minister Higher Education and Tribal Affairs Temchan Imnaalong in a tweet said they had a fruitful discussion on the strategies to be carried out to ensure BJP Nagaland's victory for the upcoming election. Besides, Nada held a meeting with the intellectuals and professionals at Naitu Resort Complex in Kohima. Earlier today, the BJP president led an auto rickshaw rally in Kohima, joined by Deputy Chief Minister Y. Button and State BJP President and Minister for Higher Education and Tribal Affairs Temjin Imna Along amidst the party workers and the public. Nada also paid a visit to the Cathedral Church in Kohima this morning and sought blessings. Meanwhile, Nada also met Chief Minister Nipirio, who is also the Nationalist Democratic Progressive Party president, along with the state BJP office bearers in Kohima last evening. This news comes to you from All India Radio, Kohima. You can also listen to this news bulletin on News on Air app and YouTube channel AIR News Kohima. BJP is going to celebrate the birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi by organising Seva Phagwara service fortnight from tomorrow till 2nd of next month across the country. Party MP Arun Singh today said that during the fortnight, party workers will render the services in various activities like blood donation and free health tests for needy people, which will also be carried out across the country. Handicapped persons will be given various equipments. Singh said, in line with Modi's call to make India DB-free by 2025, party workers will also adopt DB patients. Nagaland Kampura Federation has appreciated and endorsed the signing of September Joint Accordant. The GB Federation said peace is of paramount importance for the Nagas, adding that Nagas have shed enough blood among themselves. The Federation said their greatest concern has been put to rest by the signing of September Joint Accordant, for which they extended gratitude to NSC and GBRN Leadership and Working Committee and NPGs. The GB Federation also thanked the Forum for Naga Reconciliation for the successful mission initiated in the interest of the Nagas and further appealed to the Nagas to support the effort made by FNR and NPGs for bringing lasting peace in the land. Nationalist Democratic Progressive Party (NDPP) has welcomed the September Joint Accordant signed between the NSC and GBRN and working group of the NNPGs on 14 September 2022. It affirmed confidence that such a public declaration will be truly followed in letter and spirit. The party said that landmark also shows the sincerity, dedication and efforts that are being made by the negotiating parties in trying to bring about a final solution and settlement of the decades-old Indo-Naga political issue. The NDPP further appealed all stakeholders to continue to uphold the negotiating parties in prayers and stand in solidarity that a final solution that is inclusive, honourable and acceptable to everyone comes about at the earliest. Range Forest Officer Kohima Bezanino Chile today encouraged participants to actively and consciously be responsible for protecting the environment. She said this during the World Ozone Day observation organized by Department of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Kohima Forest Division with Government Middle School Forest Colony on the theme Montreal Protocol at 35 Global Cooperation Protecting Life on Earth. She also called upon individuals to contribute towards a common goal. Resource person Avezo Ruho, Forester 1 highlighted causes, effects and solutions for protecting ozone layer. Nagaland Police Narcotic Cell, while conducting surprise motor vehicle checking at NH2 Kohima on Wednesday, arrested 2 persons in connection to possession of illegal contraband. During the operation, one Guwahati-bound XUV coming from Manipur was intercepted, and between Kusama and Viswema village, 15 packets containing approximately 150,000 tablets of suspected Yapa WY was recovered from the possession. Accordingly, the arrested persons along with contraband and vehicle were seized and a case was registered for further investigation. And now 20 news, here are the main points again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attends 22nd SCO Summit at Samarkand, says SCO needs to focus on bringing diversified, resilient supply chains. 8 wild cheetahs from Namibia to revitalise India's wildlife and its habitat, to be released tomorrow. Supreme Court refuses to hear PIL seeking uniform dress code in schools across the country. And Rising People's Party says there should not be interview system in NSSB selection process. That is all we have in this evening news bulletin. Good night.